Lisa North sophomores. This is Miss Steele. I'm one of the counselors here at Lisa North, and I'm here with you today just to go over enrollment information in case you're a fully online student or if you're a student who missed the presentation in person. No big deal. Just want to make sure you get all of the information. And you can find all of the handouts. They're going to be in a PDF underneath the presentation in the enrollment website. So we'll go over this pretty quickly, but I do want to make sure that you have all the information you need to get started on your enrollment for the year. And so first, let's start with high school graduation requirements. This should be review for you now that you're sophomores, but still want to make sure that you know exactly what you need for graduation purposes. So just a reminder, you do need 4 years of English. You do need 3 years of social studies. And going into junior year, we're going to talk about your options because you have two different options, two different routes you can go with your social studies. You need 3 years of mathematics. So everybody should be taking a math course this year. Even if you took Algebra 1 in 8th grade, you still have to take a third year in high school. So that math from freshman year does count as a fourth math class, but you still need a third year in high school. And just remember, most colleges, if you are looking ahead to 2-year, 4-year college, they want to see at least 4 years on that transcript. You need at least 3 units of science. You get a lot of choice in that this year. You need at least 1 unit of a fine art. So that's going to be anything in the visual arts, theater, or in music. You need at least 1 practical art. That's going to be anything in business, computers, industrial tech, engineering, could be in family and consumer science, or if you're looking at one of the career centers, your junior or senior year, that would also count for your practical art credit. We need at least 1 year of PE. Definitely encourage you, if you haven't taken your PE yet, to go ahead and knock that out junior year and not wait on that until your senior year. But at least 1 year of that. And one of those semesters is going to be Foundations of Fitness. Everyone has to take Foundations of Fitness. The other semester is completely your choice, whatever you want to take. At least a half credit of personal finance. Now that is open to you as juniors. And just a reminder, I would encourage you to try to knock that out junior year if you can. It's okay to wait until senior year, but most students like to take care of that their junior year. A half credit of health or a semester of health. And hopefully you've taken that by now, but if not, again, definitely something not to wait on until your senior year. And then finally, elective credits. You need 9 electives. That's going to be anything above and beyond a minimum requirement. So if you're in band, for example, your freshman year you took band, that counted for your fine art credit. This year, if you're enrolled in band as a sophomore and you took it last year, it now counts for elective credit. And so it will as well your junior and senior year. Another example would be junior ROTC, or if you've taken modern language or plan to take modern language, those also count for graduation, or elective credits. And so, there's lots of choice for elective. And as you get to be a junior and senior, a lot more of your classes are going to be counting for elective credit. Little note on modern language, we don't require it for graduation purposes, but many schools, many colleges do require at least 2 years of the same language. So it's going to give you a total of 26 credits needed to graduate. By the end of your sophomore year, you need to be at least to 12 credits to remain on track for graduation purposes. So if you are not on track to be at 12 credits by the end of your sophomore year, definitely schedule an appointment with your counselor so we can sit down with you and talk about your options. Obviously, summer school options. We've got an interventionist that can work with you as well, but we've got a lot of different options to make sure you get caught up. So please be in touch with us on that. Other reminders, you have to do your civics exam. Hopefully you took that as a freshman, but if you haven't passed that yet, you can take that as many times as you need. So make sure that you're getting that finished. Also, as a junior, you're going to take either government or IB history. And so you will take both of your Constitution tests through that class. So U.S. Constitution and Missouri Constitution through government or IB history. And then the CPR requirement, that's done in Foundations of Fitness. But if you need to retake that, you haven't passed it yet, you certainly can retake that as many times as needed. And then the last thing would be your community service. So just a reminder, you have to have 10 hours of community service before you can graduate from high school, 10 total. That's not 10 every year. And so once you are ready to do your community service, you can fill out the community service log. You can come grab one of these from the counseling office. You just fill it out and have your supervisor sign off on that. And then once you're done with your 10 hours, turn that back into the counseling office and we'll get you marked off for that. If you're not sure where to start with community service, we do have a community service website. All you have to do is go to the Ellison homepage, hover over counseling, and it's about the third or fourth link down, and it'll say community service. So lots of different options for that. All right, so moving on to the enrollment piece. everyone's going to have gotten a green sheet, or you can print this off. So this green sheet basically has just basic information for students about enrollment. And I'm going to share the first thing on there, which is the enrollment website. So if you go to the enrollment website, you can see here that there's kind of links that'll take you to specific parts of the enrollment website. So first being your enrollment forms we're looking at, and then you can find course applications, summer school information, timelines, etc. So one thing I really want to point out is the Career and Educational Planning Guide. That is going to tell you all of the different classes that we offer and give you really in-depth descriptions of those classes. So it's really on you to do your research and make sure you know what classes you're signing up for. Also, our enrollment timeline, I'm going to be pretty generic on this because this can change year to year. It will change year to year, but make sure you know what your deadlines are, especially if you're applying for any dual credit courses or you're applying for one of our career centers. You absolutely need to know, make sure you know what those deadlines look like. Also for when you need to get everything completed with enrollment. And finally, it talks about spring enrollment conferences here. So every year you are required to attend a spring enrollment conference. That can be potentially virtual or in person, depending on the year and what we're offering. However, a parent or guardian does need to attend that. Remember, it's about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes at the max. And that is just the last step of enrollment to confirm that everything looks good in your course requests and that you're happy with those. Last time to make any changes to those. If you don't do that, you are not able to pick up your schedule at scheduled pickup day in August. So we want to make sure you get signed up for your spring enrollment conference. So a lot of information here on the website. I am going to scroll down and show you one more thing here, just because these are going to be options for you for junior and senior year. So we do have a video that talks about dual credit, as well as a video that talks about IB, International Baccalaureate, and also information about all of the off-campus programs here. So all of our career centers, as well as the early college program, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. So that's the first thing on that green sheet. Second thing on the green sheet talks about summer school. And so I do want to point out the summer school website as well. On the summer school website, again, dates vary year to year. So make sure you're checking out the dates. Location can also change as well. And just so you know where to find it, most of the time, summer school enrollment, where you can actually register for classes, that will open up sometime in early March. So the specific date will be on the summer school website, but it's typically the beginning of March at some point. And remember, you or a parent or guardian has to sign you up for the summer class. Counselors do not have access to sign you up for summer classes. All right, and then next on the enrollment worksheet or the green form is information about online classes. Not going to go into too much depth on that. If you are a student interested in online learning, or you're considering taking an online class, just make sure you go to that website and you really read what to expect from an online class. It's got a profile of an online learner, and just really what to expect, what the expectations are. And then finally, down at the bottom, there's a mock plan. So if you're a visual person like I am, and you kind of want to write out a mock schedule for your junior year, you can absolutely do that. Then on the back of that handout are reminders for sophomores who are going into junior year for enrollment. Obviously, you have to sign up for an English, you have to sign up for a social studies, you have to sign up for a math, and you have to sign up for a science class. And your current teachers are going to be making recommendations for you in Power School. So the teachers have a deadline that they'll make the recommendations, so you can see those when you go to enroll. For social studies, I mentioned this earlier, you kind of get two different choices. So you can sign up for either IB History, which is a 2-year program. So you do IB History 11 as a junior, IB History 12 as a senior, and you could potentially get some college credit from that. Or you can sign up for Modern Global Issues, which is a semester, and American Government, which is just a semester. So you finish it all during your junior year. So you have the choice on that. I just want to mention that there's kind of two different routes in the social studies. And then some things we're going to go over here in a few minutes, but if you're applying to career centers, Summit Technology Academy, Herndon, Cass Career Center, MIC at Summit Technology Academy, make sure you're meeting the deadlines on those. You don't want to miss a deadline, and then you're not in the pool of candidates to get first choice into those programs. And then if you're applying to early college programs, so that's the one where you get to spend some of your time at Leeson North, some of your time at Longview Community College, and you get dual credit for all of your courses. Make sure, again, you're getting everything turned in by the application deadline. For the rest of your classes after those 4 core, you're going to concentrate on grad requirements. You're going to concentrate on preparation for post-secondary planning, especially junior and senior year. You really want to start taking classes that are going to help prepare you for your either intended major in college or the career path that you want to take. And remember, in that career and educational planning guide, there are pages towards the beginning of the book that give you suggestions for courses that you could take if you are just depending on what your intended career path is. So make sure you're using that as a resource. It's a great resource and you want to be utilizing that. All right, so you're going to be choosing those, and make sure you're also focusing on prerequisites. Some courses require you to take a prerequisite course first before you can enter into the more advanced course. And so you just need to be cognizant of that as you're signing up for classes. Finally, you're going to enter your request in PowerSchool, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a few minutes. It's the same system you've used the last couple of years, but you, again, need to make sure you have those entered by the deadline. You will have all of enrollment week to make sure that you get signed up for your classes, but they need to go in for sure that by a minimum the end of enrollment week. And finally, I mentioned this earlier, but you do need to attend or schedule and attend a spring enrollment conference. That is a requirement each year. Okay. So that's the green sheet. The next sheet I have here is called the Counseling QR menu. This is just a helpful resource for you. So if you have a smartphone, you can open that camera. You can scan any of these. So it'll take you to, for example, the community service website, career and educational planning guide, our Leeson North counseling Twitter page, which is a good follow, guys. I will tell you, post a lot of scholarship information there, leadership opportunities, things like that. All of the career centers, Navient's career and college planning, scholarships, financial aid, IB, everything you can think of. So just a helpful resource for you if you'd like to utilize that. All right, the next handout is going to be the actual enrollment worksheet. So this is the same worksheet you see year to year, but just updated for the current school year. And this is going to have your list of all courses that are available to our Leeson North students. So just a few reminders on that. First of all, if you see a 1.0 next to a class, that means it's a year-long class. If you see a 0.5 next to a class, that means it's a semester-long class. And to get to a full credit, you need to pair it with another 0.5 course. Also, you're going to be looking at the column that shows all the 11s in it for 11th grade because you are going into your junior year. So this year you get a lot more choices for courses to take as a junior in high school. Right. And then finally, there's a couple reminders at the top, but if you see a little A next to a course, for example, a newspaper yearbook, you do have to turn in an application for those courses. And so a reminder, you just go back to the enrollment website to find that application. You can print that off, and some of them are Google, where you can just submit a Google form for the application. And then if you see a little T next to a class, that means it requires a teacher recommendation. And so if you're unsure where to get that teacher recommendation, the next handout here is a list of all of the classes that require recommendations and who specifically you should go to get that teacher recommendation, right? And you're not going to be getting signatures or anything along those lines. The teacher would just enter the recommendation into PowerSchool for you. So you don't need to worry about getting a signature, but some of them are pretty specific. Like there's 1 or 2 teachers that you need to get a signature from. Some of them are pretty generic. So you could get it, for example, from any modern language teacher or any art teacher. But those are just things that you need to be aware of. So lastly, on the enrollment worksheet, going back to that one, I do want to point out the last page. The last page is a list of all of the online courses being offered for the coming year. I do want to just make a statement here that not every online course is likely to make. It really depends on the number of student requests across the district. So I believe that they need at least 10 students to request a course in order to be able to offer it. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're enrolling in either a fully online schedule, or if you're enrolling in like a hybrid schedule, so you're partially in person, partially online, or even if you're just enrolling in one online class. It's not 100% guarantee that that course will be offered. Now, most of them will, but not every single course is going to make. Okay. So again, you've got your handout that tells you who you need to go to if you need a teacher recommendation. Finally, the last thing I want to show you is actually how to enter those recommendations in PowerSchool. This is a big piece. You have to do this piece in order for your recommendations to be saved, or I'm sorry, your requests to be saved in PowerSchool. We absolutely need this from you. So this pink sheet just tells you instructions for how to enter those course requests. It's actually a mirror of what you're going to see when you actually enter into PowerSchool. So just to show you my screen and what that looks like. All right, share this with you. So on the left-hand side of PowerSchool, you're going to see class registration, and that's what you're going to click on in order to get to this page. And so the year could be different from this year, but the screen should look the same. And so what you do is you would click on the right hand here to select your English class for next year. And you can see here Miss Whitteman has recommended me for English 11 Honors. So let's say that's the class I want to sign up for. I click on it and click OK. If I would like an elective in the English department, I can select one of those. If I'm not interested in taking any of those English electives, that's okay. That's completely up to the student. So, oops, did not mean to do that. So we can just click out of that. If I want to take a modern language, we've got those listed here. Also, if you've already been in a modern language and have a recommendation, you'll see those listed here. So I'll say I want to take Spanish 3. And then social studies, again, you get the two choices, American government and modern global issues, or you can take the IB history course. So right here, I've been recommended for government and modern global issues, and this is a good spot to stop for just a second. I do want to point out that you can see also both of those classes are offered as online options. So make sure you're being really selective in what you choose here, because you don't want to accidentally choose online if you meant in person, or accidentally choose in person if you meant online. It's very clear which ones are part of the online program. Right. So, and then if we want a social studies elective, you get a lot of choices for those your junior year that you can click on. Your math will be listed here, quite a few options in math as well, and science. And I'm just going to quit clicking just to kind of go a little bit quicker for you. So you're going to have your English, your social studies, your math, and your science for sure. And then the rest of the choices are up to you. So what I'll show you, I've selected, I believe, 3 credit hours up to this point, and it keeps track of that here at the bottom. And so 7, reminder, is a full schedule. And you can request, if you wanted more than that, you could request a 0 hour or an online class. Finally, once you've got your 7 selected, you are going to be checking alternates. You have to select alternates. You can select a minimum of 4 or a maximum of 6 alternates. And you can see it's a pretty extensive list here of alternates. Pretty much every course we offer in the catalog is going to be listed as an alternate. What I beg of you is that you do not select your first choices as alternates as well. So what I mean by that, if you've selected Intro to Creative Writing as a first choice, please do not put that in your alternate choices. You need something different in your alternates. And the reason that is because if we can't get a first choice for some reason, it means either the class didn't make, or it falls the exact same hour as some other class that you need, or that maybe it's band or something that you really want in your schedule. And so we're going to have to go to a different class. So just repeating your first choices does us no good. We're always going to try to get you your first choices, and just use alternates as a last resort if we need to. So you'll enter your 4 alternates, and then at the bottom, you'll have a little button that says submit. I don't have that because this is a fake student. But just recall, you have to hit submit in order for your courses to save in PowerSchool. So you'll hit that submit button, and then once you hit submit, your courses should be saved there. And you'll be able to still go back in and access those and change those or update those up until the end of the enrollment window. Okay. So again, this little handout, the pink one, tells you exactly how to do that. There's also a little video on the enrollment website that shows you how to do it if you need some help. All right, most of the rest of this is specific just to juniors and seniors, so I'll go through this pretty quickly. We do have included here a list of all of our dual credit courses. So just a reminder, dual credit means that you can take a class in high school taught by one of our high school teachers that will count for both high school credit, and it will count for college credit. So this is a list of all of those courses that count for dual credit. We also have our career centers available to you this year for the first time as juniors. So Summit Technology Academy, obviously right down the street from us here, with Summit Tech, lots and lots and lots of different programs, things within engineering, computer science, health science, human services, finance, and then the arts and communications. So if interested in Summit Tech, I suggest going to their website. Again, through the enrollment page, we have a link to that. And we also have a link to the application if you'd like to apply. Just make sure you get it done by the deadline. Herndon Career Center is in Raytown, Missouri. So they have a lot of very hands-on type programs. So they might be anything from culinary arts to law enforcement to EMT, welding. They have auto collision, auto tech, cosmetology, just lots and lots and lots of different choices for you. And so if you're kind of a hands-on person and would like to enroll in one of their programs, awesome programs over there. A lot of them even give you certifications right out of high school. And so this is Herndon's little list of courses. But again, you'd want to see it's in their, go to their website, and the application can be found there if you want to apply for Herndon Career Center. And then CAPS is part of Herndon, Southland CAPS. A lot of times these are not located at Herndon's campus, but instead you have to go off campus somewhere else in order to be able to take those CAPS courses. So with CAPS, you're just going to be applying the same way that you do for Herndon if you're interested in these. So lots of different programs there as well, very specific programs. But for the majority of these, you've got to make sure you have your own transportation for those. And then early college program, that is going to be the program I mentioned earlier, where you can take classes off campus at Longview, but also take classes here at North at the same time. So if you want to start an associate's degree early, or if you want to just take some college classes and get a little bit of college under your belt, this is a program that's great for you. I don't have a handout for Cass Career Center. Cass would be the last one. Cass is in Harrisonville, and they have programs in fire science, EMT, and also agriculture. So lots of different choices down there. And also actually adding a newer CSI program as well. So lots of choices at Cass as well. And their website is also linked on the enrollment website. For any of those programs, the Summit Tech, the Cass, the Herndon, or the Innovation Track, we're not going to know right away that you're accepted into those programs. So you do need to fill out a full 7-hour schedule as if right now you're not accepted into the program. And then once we know if you are accepted, we will get with you to make sure that your schedule is changed and corrected to keep what you want in your schedule here at North. So that's all the information I have for you guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to your counselor or to your mentor. We would love to help you with the process. So we just need to know if you're struggling at all. So reach out to us if you have any questions. And again, I'm Miss Steele, so you're also welcome to reach out to me with any clarifying questions you need. I appreciate it and happy enrolling, guys. Take care.